Good evening, everyone. I hope you can all hear me down the back there. It's great to be here tonight, first of all, in an excellent beginning. Back indoors again. It's 2 years ago since we were here, so it's great to be back again. Meeting face to face and having open discussions about social farming and what has brought us here tonight. A very warm welcome to Minister Norma Foley, the Minister for Education. A very warm welcome to our elected deputies, councillors, Councillor Dan McCarthy, our host farmers and all their families, participants and their families. Welcome to all the various service providers who are a part of this outstanding and excellent project. Our partnerships, our SKDP CEO Noel Spillane and NEWKD CEO Eamon O'Reilly. It's great to see a stall down the back by Mike O'Donoghue of Zurich. All the other various, Don McGonigal, our photographer, Linda Gascoigne from Skillicree, Niall Foley, who is doing our live streaming. And I'd like to welcome everyone who is tuned in through live streaming as well. So you're all very welcome here tonight. It's great to, it's hat lifting. We also have members of IFA here as well, so it's great to have a widespread of people here. It's uplifting to see such a great crowd, you know, in difficult times, uncertain times, and to give the time tonight to this meeting. It's our annual AGM. It's great, and we're very grateful as a working group of Kerry Social Farming. We're very grateful to see the crowd that we have tonight. Just a few things, maybe a small change there in our agenda. Our first guest speaker will be our Minister for Education, Mrs. Norma Foley. Norma has a busy week every week, and it has got even busier and busier with Ukrainians coming in and going to school and trying to work through all that and work through COVID and everything. And this lady has various other engagements throughout the county this weekend and tonight. So Norma will be speaking shortly, and then we will have on my right here Evelyn O'Connell, our SKDP facilitator for social farming, will speak, and we will have Rena Blake from NEWKD, our facilitator in that area, will speak as well. We will have questions and answers and observations or input in any way or suggestions of any shape or form as well during the meeting. So I suppose the purpose of tonight's meeting is to go back where we were since our last meeting, where we are and where we plan on going forward as well. So without further ado, I would like to welcome, I forgot Luke Myers, who is going to speak as well. So without further ado, I would like to invite Mrs. Norma Foley from our Minister for Education. So thanks, Norma.
Well, Díomh go léir is an ormhór domsa bheithan sá nó cád úntaach speisialtas agus, ba bhfuil mar dús mo bhhachas a gháil as an ama agus an deisio thuirtom chun búla liv agus chun labhart liv anocht. Good evening to you all. I am so very, very pleased to be here this evening, and I really do appreciate the opportunity to meet with you and to speak with you, and I want to express my very sincere thanks for the very kind invitation to be part of tonight's gathering, in particular to Noel and to Eamon and to the team. Could I say at the outset too that I'm extraordinarily pleased that it is an in-person event. The last 2 years have been long and they have been difficult and they have been challenging, and you know, the virtual world has served its purpose, and I know there's an element of it here as well tonight, and it has served us very well. But I think we're nearly at the end of our tether now when it comes to being muted and to be frozen on screen and all of that. So it is especially nice to be here with you personally this evening. Could I also say to you that I'm very conscious that in this gathering this evening there are people coming from so many different backgrounds and so many different disciplines, social, community, our public representatives, such a vast array of people who have lent their time and talent to the success of this project. And it would be a fatal mistake for me to name check one or two and not name check everyone. So I'm going to rely on the very beautiful expression in Irish, which is Aghoine Ushla, noble people, because I think because of your talent and your generosity, you have lent a considerable nobility to this project and to the success of this project. So Aghoine Ushla. Let me begin by quoting a very significant line that I came across recently from no less a man as Thomas Jefferson. And he said, "Agriculture is our wisest pursuit because it will, in the end, contribute most to real wealth and real happiness." When I read the vision statement of Kerry Social Farming, which is to promote and operate social farming in Kerry as a viable option for achieving improved quality of life, greater inclusion, and community networking opportunities for all people, it is abundantly clear to me that Jefferson's words are alive and well, and indeed at the very core of the Kerry Social Farming project. On the ground, Kerry Social Farming offers an important lifeline to people, offering new pathways through a variety of unique opportunities to take part in a working farm environment, engaging with local families and the farming community in such a positive and uplifting setting. This is most especially evident, I think, and I had this discussion earlier, in terms of the growth of Kerry Social Farming over the last decade, increasing from 4 host farms in 2013 to 31 in 2022. And equally, from providing 76 social farming days from July to December from 2013 to 616 days for the same period in 2021. The number of participants availing of social farming opportunities has also increased from 4 in 2013 to 51 today. I really do think that the figures speak for themselves and are testament to the extraordinary success of this innovative social farming project. Personally, I am a huge admirer of the whole social farming initiative. It enriches the lives of so many, from the students involved to the host farmers and indeed the wider community. I know it is said that it takes a village to raise a child, but I firmly believe that experience of the farm can teach children some of its best and very best life lessons. Farmers are so much more than minders of stock or tillers of the land, and I am mindful now I'm in the presence of expert farmers here, but I will say that farmers are adept at so many different aspects of life. They are accountants, vets, food creators, mechanics, problem solvers, and most importantly, they have the capacity to be great, great educators. I can't think of a better environment for students to learn than on a farm. And we see this with the excellent delivery and success of programs in our schools in subjects like agricultural science. And indeed, again, further testament is the success of the Kerry Social Farming initiative. As we all know, social farming is the practice of offering access to family farms as a form of social support for people experiencing challenges in their lives. It uses the natural farm-based assets of the farmer, the farm, the activities and the community to support a person to meet some of their own chosen goals and to achieve positive outcomes across a wide range of measures. In the Irish context, and I do think this is important, in the Irish context, the social farm is not a specialised or institutionalised farm, as can be the case, we know, in other countries. But the Irish farm remains a typical working farm where people take part in day-to-day farm activities in an ordinary, non-clinical environment. Support and funding from the Department of Agriculture, Food and Marine has been key to the growth and development of social farming in the last 6 years in particular. Since 2016, the Department has provided funding for the development of a national social farming network to ensure national coverage, and there are now over 100 trained and active social farmers operating nationally, with at least 2 in most counties and with significant potential for further growth. It is interesting to note too that research carried out by Social Farming Ireland amongst farmers in 2021 point to a range and a whole myriad of benefits. 57% of farmers agree that it has been a strong spur to further farm diversification. 56% agree that it has stimulated next generation interest and involvement in the farm. And 100% of social farmers have carried out positive environmental actions. Without doubt, social farming has led to a shift in mindset, to seeing the farm as a place rich in assets which can be shared with other people and which has significant potential in addition to food production. At a broader level, social farming has led to the development of new relationships and connections between previously unconnected groups and people. It has also widened understanding of the role and value of agriculture and farming life, and helped preserve the model of the mixed family farm and farming as a way of life. I know from speaking with Minister for Agriculture, Charlie McConalogue, that he is equally an admirer and supporter of the social farming initiative, having recently visited, I believe, the North Leitrim project to see firsthand how it's being established and run there. He has confirmed to me that both he and his department are committed to supporting and, importantly, growing the social farming projects going forward. As I begin to conclude, I would like to echo the observations of Pope Francis, who once remarked, "Truly, there is no humanity without the cultivation of land. There is no good life without the food that it produces for the men and women of every continent. Thus, agriculture shows its own inalienable role. The labour of those who cultivate the earth, generously dedicating time and energy to it, appears a very genuine vocation." Thank you to South Kerry Social Farming for your breadth of vision and your ability to cultivate the very best of humanity. Thank you most especially for your focus on inclusion and your growing and nurturing of supportive communities. I congratulate you all on all that you have achieved, and I wish you success and continued success in all that you do going forward to grow this most significant and most worthwhile initiative. Gur míle maith agóibh go léir.
Thank you very much, Minister, for an excellent presentation. We'll take questions from the floor. If anyone have questions or any observations or any ideas or want to say anything at all. Okay, we might come back to so in a minute. We'll move on to our next speaker. So first of all, I never introduced myself. I'm Eamon Horgan, chairperson of the Social Farming, Kerry Social Farming Working Group since 2021. My two previous predecessors were, the first chairperson was Joe McCrone and George Kelly. So I'm honoured to be part of this project and to chair this project and take it on from where it has started, from being a project that started very solid and started with a great group of people and is a great programme and a great project, and my aim is to take it on and work, progress it along and reach out to everyone that need our services, need our support as well. So, okay, I might call in the next speaker, which is Evelyn O'Connell, Kerry Social Farming Facilitator for SKDP. So, thanks, Evelyn.
Hi, good evening everyone. So myself and Rena are going to present together to tell you a little bit more about Kerry Social Farming and what's happened in the last year or so. So just a few bits on the slide. So I suppose our priority this time last year, where we were just coming out of lockdown, so priority number one was to get everyone back social farming, so all our existing host farmers and participants, to get them back on the ground. After that then came our new host farms and new participants, so to get those waiting to get going. So last summer we spent a lot of time out on the road helping those people to get started in social farming. And then towards the end of the year we're back sort of refocusing and looking at recruiting new host farmers again to support us in the project. The Social Farming Working Group was also re-established last year and had its first meeting in September. So this is a graph here of the Kerry Social Farming days so far, so from 2013 to 2021. So as you can see, there was good growth up until 2 years ago, where there was, quite a significant dip. But for us, we're delighted to see that the curve is going back up again, and so we're delighted with achieving 853 social farming days this year, and that's starting to bring us back on track again for, I suppose, what we aim to provide for participants social farming in Kerry. So on the left you can see this was us this time last year, so 13 host farms and 28 participants, and we're delighted, Rena and I are delighted that we're now much higher than that at 31 and 54. So I think that's a very significant growth in the year of getting both existing host farms and participants back in action, but also getting the new people involved. So we hope that if we can continue that growth every year, we'd be very, very happy. I suppose that growth is only possible through funding and budgets, as is everything in the world, and so we're very thankful to the Department of Agriculture for giving us our core funding. As Norma said, it's been, since 2016 now, we've been getting our core funding from the Department of Agriculture, and that allows us to run this project, and that allows social farming to happen on the ground for those people that like to enjoy it. I suppose we want to mention Kerry Education Training Board that gave us money towards our host farmers that are engaging in the Certificate and Practice Support course with UCC and Skellig Cree. So we're very grateful for funding for 6 of those students from KATB. We also get funding from Local Link Kerry, so the travel expenses that our host farmers incur with the social car model, that's match funded by Local Link Kerry, so we're very grateful for that money that they contribute. And then finally for Cura, it's an Erasmus Plus programme. They also have contributed to Kerry Social Farming in the last 2 years. So that's what allows, I suppose, social farming to happen on the ground. This is a bit about, I suppose, the breakdown of our budget. So this was, I suppose, for 2021. This was last year's budget. So as you can see, there was a spend of 105,000, just over 105,000, which was just less than what was allocated or in the budget. Again, that comes down to the underspend, and that this time last year from January to March we were in lockdown. There was very little happening, so 1/4 of the year, I suppose, social farming wasn't able to take place on the ground. But we're fortunate that money we're able to bring it forward and use it in this year's budget to further grow the project and to benefit the participants in 2022. This is a map of our host farms throughout Kerry, so the 31 host farms are detailed on this map. So as you can see, it's getting more and more widespread around the county, which is great, but there's also pockets that, are missing dots that we want to add a bit more and grow the project even further, particularly around the Midlands and into the Dingle Peninsula. I suppose they are the areas that Rena and I are focusing on over the next year. Okay.
Sorry. Good evening, everybody. Thanks, Evelyn. So basically, I suppose I just want to talk about, first off, is the benefits of social farming and for our participants. And there's so many benefits. I see it on a weekly basis, a daily basis in my job. But like you can see, the social benefits, the physical activity of being out on a farm. The social inclusion, you're taking people from their day services, thank you, and bringing them out into farms. They're going to places like marts, and it's really good. Excuse me, sorry, that's not going to work. I pressed the wrong one. Okay. The benefits for the host farmers, it's so multiple. We had to use 2 slides to get it going, and I have 2 hats because as well as being a facilitator, I'm also a host farmer. So there's great networking. We have a great team of host farmers that help each other out, and if just one example is beekeeping. We have a number of beekeepers actually as host farmers now, and I see them trading, just techniques and stuff all the time. So that's really good. We help with farm upgrades, if particularly to do with health and safety and stuff. Initially in the setup of farms, we go in. And let's see, thank you. Look, and this here, you can see it, I suppose, it promotes the positive aspects of farming. Like at the minute, farming is getting a lot of, negative publicity, but social farming brings out the very best in farming for the host farmer. It reduces the social isolation. Like a lot of our farmers would be quite rural, including myself. So it brings somebody else into you on a day-to-day basis. We provide a lot of training for the host farmers. Like we have done first aid training. We also the certificate course in the UCC. I myself have done it, and so has Evelyn. And a lot of our host farms have done it. We're 3 years running, and you get to graduate with a certificate, FETAC level 6 from UCC, which I think is really beneficial. Okay, the successes of social farming. I think one of the best successes is our voluntary model. Like all of our farmers do this voluntary, so, and it's the longevity of social farming. They're doing it, like some of our farms are running up to 7 to 8 to 9 years, which is shows in itself how successful it is. The social car, like we link up with a lot of services, and this social car really helps us, local link. Thank you. I suppose over the past year, 18 months, COVID was and is a big factor, and it was a big factor in tonight actually too, because as we know at the minute it's raised and it's out again. So, but look. Oh, sorry, I'm not on COVID.
No, you weren't.
Oh, yes, I am. Yeah, we do. So, sorry, reducing the host farmers, the challenges of host farmers. I went to COVID instead of so the challenges of host farming. I spoke. Sorry, social farming. Sorry, I'm just quite nervous, but I'm. But we'll get there. So look. Recruiting host farmers is a huge challenge for us. As Evelyn said, like there's definitely pockets in the county that we need to bring in. securing our funding. Funding is huge. Like we have a small budget. It's been reduced year on year, but out of that budget we do an awful lot of work. So we need to secure some more core funding and maybe corporate sponsorship funding going forward. Okay, now we're at this is the COVID one. So look, you can see, you know, over COVID we had the lockdowns, we had Zoom meetings. Like it, you know, was actually really great to see that we could engage with our host farmers and service providers over COVID through, and last year we had this meeting on Zoom. So I think we've all learned a lot about technology, and it's great to see that. The social distancing, okay, we're very good. It's okay, don't worry. I have to read the thing. Promoting, over the last probably 4 to 5 months, that we've put a huge emphasis on promoting social farming. So we've come up with a new poster campaign. The larger poster here is gone on all the marts in Kerry. It's gone up over the last couple of months. So it really is like, if you want to meet the farmers, we decided to bring the posters to the farmers, and the one here, the farther over, the smaller one, has gone on all the agri stores. So we're putting it up on the agri stores, and it's just, I think, visual, and a picture tells 1,000 words. So if somebody passes it, they might say, oh wow, we're interested, and it's contact details are all there. Okay, the opportunities for social farming, I suppose. We've, over this past year, we've networked with a lot of service providers, but the HSE and mental health services was one of them. We have a new project initiated this year. It's the Biodiversity project. It's been running by Luke, and Luke will speak to you soon about that. And it's going to be, it's really going to bring another dimension to social farming. The UCC I've already spoke about, the UCC certificate course. And Kerry UTB have been brilliant to us over the last number of years. They've provided us some funding for particularly the courses, the first aid courses, sorry, blanking there. Very good. And then tenders, I suppose, as well as going out on farms, a big part of Evelyn and I and Julie's work, and all of us, I suppose, is putting in the tenders for our funding and for our core funding. So we did 2 major tenders towards the end of last year. One was to secure this year's core funding, and then we put in a tender for the Biodiversity project, which was successful. So, you know, and that's probably, like, I would say half of our work is doing that, as well as being out in the farms and facilitating in that way. And okay, and this is just again about like what's coming up. We've been very lucky that we've been able to link in with the Min Sheds in Tralee, and over the last year they've been building us bird boxes and bat boxes, and now we've owl boxes in production. So it's a great way of linking in services. And then this is like, this is John. He comes to my farm on a Friday, and he has a particular interest on birds and just loves putting them up. So that was just us throughout the year. We put them up, and then we monitored them, and then we took them down and cleaned them in November, and they're ready to go back up again. But Luke will speak more about this. And Sinead, yeah, well done. I get a break.
So I'm going to come back to you again and talk to you a little bit about Farcura. So Farcura is the Erasmus Plus project that Kerry Social Farming link in with. It's been, Kerry Social Farming has been a part of Farcura for the last 2 years, and I suppose we've done lots of work with them and the other countries in Europe that are involved in it. Julie's done a lot of work on the case studies with them, and Joe has done a lot of the interaction work with the group, and so we're learning from them and sharing our learning with them as well. So I suppose the main outcomes of Farcura for us is that there's an online training platform. So it's something that anyone can go on to, create an account, and you can do lots of training and learning around social farming and what it's involved and the different models of social farming that are happening throughout Europe. We held a national social farming conference last September on Mike O'Shea's farm in Drummond, so that was a huge success for us, and it was a lovely event to bring all social farming models in Ireland together on the one occasion. And then there was a final conference that was held online between all the European countries, ourselves included, and Joe McCrohan and Eamon Horgan presented at that. So again, it was a great opportunity to tell the story of social farming throughout Ireland, but also throughout Europe, to spread the word. So this is a short video from the highlights of our conference in Drummond last September, so I'll just play that for you now.
Social farming is about giving back to other people, and what we find in the social farmers will speak for themselves today. We can find people that are farmers and they're also involved in other community activities. It's likely then that they would be interested in horse farming.
Give them ownership as well within the little jobs that are going on.
And I invite anyone here today that's anywhere interested that should get involved, I think. It's only 4 or 5 hours in a day in a week, especially go family at all, and we do something else to look forward to.
We head up for the teas on it. Thanks very much.
We were heartened by all the stories, by the individual farmers, and really the joy and the happiness that this interaction of social farming brings to everybody who's involved. It's so warming and so welcoming to see.
So this is a slide just about, I suppose, social farming networking and I suppose trying to be part of a collaborative approach in Ireland. So like I say, at the conference last September we had speakers from lots of social farming projects throughout Ireland. We visited the Fields of Dreams in Cork, which is with Down Syndrome Cork, to support them in their social farming role, and also supporting IRD Duhallow and Sheila Kelleher as they start up in their voluntary model in social farming in Northeast Cork. So throughout last year as well, we've done manual handling for the participants. So on farms in South Kerry and in North Kerry, we've got people together in groups, small groups, and just practicing the skills that they need to do on the farm. So just talking that through them, making sure that they're doing it safely. So that was at Noel Lynch's and Christy and Mary McDonald's farm in Falmore, and then also at Tom Sayre's farm and in Barna. We did some manual handling with the participants. Last year. Thanks. Okay. Our technical side has gone haywire. Okay. So just we spoke a lot about the certificate course at UCC. So these are some pictures from the last 2 years. So the third year has started now. So the first year was face-to-face learning, the second year was online learning, as you can see, and then thankfully both groups got to have their day graduation in UCC last October and November. So that was a great day out. You know, a lot of our host farmers really valued that course, and to have that day out in UCC and acknowledge the work they put into it and to acknowledge that educational achievement was fabulous. So well done to all the host farmers and everyone involved in that course. So I'll give you a few updates on my group of farms. So these were the new host farmers that started in 2021. And in spring 2022. So I'm delighted that there's 7, that I helped 7 farms to get off the ground during this year. There's dispersed all around South and Mid-Kerry. And these are participants that started social farming throughout the year and early this spring. So all of those have got, through the host farmers that I've mentioned, thanks to them, all these participants have got an opportunity to try out social farming. And the majority of them are with us. 2 people aren't social farming anymore, but all the rest are still social farming and really enjoying their opportunity. So I just have a few slides up of the different areas. So these are our host farmers and participants in Ivara. So that we've a good variety of farms in Iveragh. We have a dairy farm, suckler farms, horticulture farms, and I suppose that caters for all the needs and desires of the participants and what they enjoy doing. These are the farms around Mid-Kerry. So again, we have a good variety of farms. George Kelly is a long-standing host farmer. Noel Lynch and Mary Fleming are new farmers with us. So again, there's a real mix, I suppose, of expertise in social farming and, like Rena was saying, that networking of supporting each other and helping each other out on the farms. So staying on the Mid-Kerry farms, I'm going to invite one of the host farmers and one of the participants to come up and speak to you. So Mary Fleming is a new farmer from Kilcummin, and Pat O'Connor, the participant that goes social farming with her, are going to come up and tell you a little bit about their experience.
Hi everybody. I got the tube to come in without me long. I jotted down a few things this evening. Sure, I'm in social farming for 40 years, but I only started last January with that. You might want to know if I wanted to join the social farming group. I've been farming with John, my son, with Down syndrome since he was a teenager in the 80s. He has always contributed to everything that is going on the farm. As a result, he always felt he was valued, worker, and loves the outdoor life. It struck me that others like John might love to get this opportunity. John does lots of jobs in the farm. His favourite is feeding the cattle. He pikes in the hay and silage. He does a great job brushing the yard. And his job every summer is turning and footing the turf. This work keeps him active every day and helps him to keep the weight down, as he has a huge appetite. Right, John? Most of all, it gives him a purpose in life, and he enjoys his time off in the evenings, going on to the football pitches for the nieces and nephews playing. Now we have Pat every week, and we look forward to Pat coming. Right, Pat?
Yes.
Pat was social farming before, but with COVID, noting for the last 2 years. Since January, he's with us. He's a very relaxed and gets on great with everyone. Blended in well in the community, and now they're learning more about social farming. From my experience so far, I'm already thinking of taking on more people. That shows how much I enjoy and look forward to Pat being with us every day. Right, Pat?
Yes.
You can say your own words, Pat. Pat helps John with these jobs, the same as jobs they always do. John and Pat have become great buddies. This has been a great opportunity for building a network of friends for John and Pat. This has given me a renewed purpose in life, and I get great joy out of seeing John and Pat enjoying themselves. I have been able to teach others about my experience of living and working with John on the farm during the UCC course. I've learned lots of different models of disability that will help me support John, Pat and others that come on the farm to push for equality for them in society. I would highly recommend the UCC course to everyone. I would advise all of you to get involved in social farming if you can. Now I would like to thank everyone for giving me a chance here tonight for saying my few words, and anything at all I can do for social farming. I'm available anytime. Now, you want to say a few words?
My name is Pat O'Connor. I work in Mary Fleming's farm. I do a lot of jobs in the farm with her. I do cleaning out and cleaning out the sheds and brushing the yard, and sometimes we might do a bit of painting and white washing as well in the walls as well. And she makes tea for us as well. I'm always feeding you.
So thanks a million to Mary, Pat and John for sharing their story. I suppose there's only the people themselves can tell it, and I think that tells it a lot better than I will ever say it, and it's nice to hear their experience. These are just some more of the host farms that I have the privilege to facilitate. So this we've got Eamon that's here at the top table, John and Yvonne and Ziggy and Jan and Karen that are here as well in the kind of east area. And then 2 more farms, Mary Healy and Seamus and Nora Howard, give people the opportunity on their farms, which is great. So now I'm leading on to another video, which I hope is going to work for you guys.
My son has just, in the last year and a half, taken over doing some dairy farming, and he hopes to increase his herd.
I give a dog a stick if he catches.
We're in social farming now about 6 months, and we have Roger, who is from Killarney. He had little or no experience of farming life, so we look forward every Thursday to his coming, and I think from his body language he appears to be very happy.
There's in here too. We're all gone. 1 egg today, Roger. We did a lot better yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah.
Let's see in here.
So I'm going to pass over to Rena for her update.
Thanks, Evelyn. Just to say, all of these videos are online. They're all on our website. So if you do want to go back and see any of these, it'll be easy. Pick them up again after. Okay, so let's see how this goes. I'm just going to give you a breakdown and an update on the farms that I've been working on over the past year. At the minute I have 16 farms and 30 participants, and it kind of ranges from, probably I'm the furthest north, to camp, upper camp, and you can see Cordal. So this is we put in our new host farms for the past year. So I'm the same as Evelyn, 7 new host farms, and they're all here. So thank you. Then this is Mark is here. He's our newest participant. He only started on Dawn's farm. She's also here. He started on Thursday officially. And then we have I think 3, 6, 10, 12. There's 12 new people started over the past year, participants. So, and it's lovely to see them out in the farms. It's really good. So I suppose in terms of participants then, we've created little mini WhatsApp groups on our phones, so we can share photos, and so this is kind of a collage of our year. So it just shows you some of the jobs and the fun and the activities that happen on the farm. And so we have Billy Joe's farm here in Ballyduff. This is our own on top. The third one down here is Ion Organic, and I think we have a wee video with this one. Hopefully it'll go. And we've Maura Sheehy and Joe. Joe's Causeway, Maura Sheehy's Tralee. Joe mainly grows potatoes. Mike is here. You're here. Yes. There he is. Mike he's right-hand man, a farmer himself actually. So it was a really good match actually. And also, I just put in some extra photos. So we have Dawn, we have Sandy Feet as a farm. It's a host farm. We have a lovely young woman going there once a week, and she just loves it. It's a great place. Just take a picture of twice. Back, yeah. I've eye on there twice. Okay, so the same here. It's just basically some of the activities, so you can get to see what they do on a day, any given day. Okay, so Okay, so this is Helen. Hopefully it's a lovely short video that was made this year, and hopefully it'll play too.
They're lovely and some of them are nice and ready now, aren't they? There's still quite a lot that aren't. I have Helen, who comes to me once a week just for a couple of hours, and she's absolutely fantastic, and so she'll help me with harvesting flowers and herbs and making soaps and making creams. And I've actually been teaching her how to do some of these things.
I melted some wax to make it, and what I did is that I mixed in lavender and some of seeds to make it.
It's been really rewarding actually for me, and I hope she really enjoys it.
I love it here, like. I love coming here every Tuesday. I love it. It's the highlight of my day.
See you, Helen.
Yeah.
Bye. Yeah, thanks a million.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
You look at what particular interest our young person has, whether it be horticulture, so there's farmers that are particularly focusing on maybe vegetables and planting, and then we have other farmers that are working on maybe sheep farming, cattle farming, there's bee farming. So in particular, one of our young person has a very keen interest in bee farming, so they buddied up, and he now goes out to the farm one day every week, where he's working with the farmer on different tasks. Look, it can vary. I think he was power washing for him one day, and then he was making bee frames the next day. So the benefits for the young person we're supporting is, I suppose, we're creating quite a meaningful role for the young person. I suppose we're looking at it, first of all, as a work experience for the young people we're supporting, but also maybe, down the line in preparation for workplace and the workforce.
Hello, so just invite Cian, are you going to come up? This is the team from Peter's farm. So.
Hi everyone. Firstly, I'd like to thank everybody who put this evening together and echoed sentiments of our Minister Norma Foley around how fantastic it is to see people away from the computer screens and in real life. So my own name is Shauna Deneen. I am the New Directions Community Coordinator for Resilience in Kerry. And this is Cian, one of the individuals that we support. So I suppose our partnership with Kerry Social Farming began when Cian expressed a really keen interest in farming. And he comes from a West Kerry beekeeping background. So linking him in with his host farmer Peter was a no-brainer really there. Since Cian started farming once a week with Peter, he has really just excelled with his confidence, with his skills building, and with the relationship that he's developed with Peter, which has been absolutely fantastic. I suppose, one of our main values is kind of empowering the young people that we support to realise their own potential, and I think that's something that we share with Kerry Social Farming. The partnership that we've developed has been an absolutely fantastic community link for us, and we're really, really looking forward to continue supporting them and them supporting us in the future. So.
Hi there, my name is Peter Curran. I'm from Barrow East in Arfert. I haven't prepared anything for this speech. I'm a sheep farmer and I keep a lot of bees, an ex-butcher as well. So Cian comes to me every Tuesday morning, and he started last August, and he comes for about 2 hours, and we've built walls, we've put pens together, we've sorted out a lot of sheep. What we've been doing lately is a lot of mucking out a lot of stables, and what I found that I think it's a routine with him, and it's all time with Cian, and I think if I stick to the same routine every week, I don't have to explain to him what I need done anymore now. He's doing it all himself, and he's a great benefit to me. I think I probably get a lot more out of it myself. I think as much as Cian does. I work on my own quite a lot, and I tend to do things very, very, very quick, and I'm always busy. So Cian calms me down a good bit and brings me back down to earth again. And I just can't explain the benefit that I get out of it. No matter how many problems are in my life, when I meet Cian, they're all washed away. And all I have to do is give him 2 biscuits and a cup of tea for all the work he does every day, and that's all I have to do. He looks forward to that, and so that's my bit of a story, about it. Thank you very much.
I have to thank Peter. He was reluctant coming tonight because he told me he's always ready to lamb. So I said in and out. So thank you very much for coming. Okay. So I also want to say a special thanks. Dennis Burns has been social farming with us for probably the last 5.5 years, but he's stepping down at the minute. He had taken a break over COVID, but I think there's just health issues, and it's probably time for him to take a well-deserved retirement. So, but he works from Shannon Centre in Aberdeen, and that has started back up this week with a new host farmer there. And I just wanted to say a special thanks to Dennis, and I hope you're listening in, because he told me he'd be online, and we appreciate all the work you've done and all of the joy and generosity you've given to us and social farming over the last number of years. Thank you.
So another farmer that we have to acknowledge without the night going past is Kerry Sullivan Kasur. So Kerry has been part of Kerry Social Farming for a long, long time, and unfortunately passed away last November. So he's a huge loss to Kerry Social Farming. We want to acknowledge him tonight and all the work that he's done for Kerry Social Farming over the years. We also want to acknowledge Marianne and her family for their continued contribution to Kerry Social Farming. They're continuing to work with us and to support Earl, and it's just phenomenal, I suppose, what Ger and Marianne have done for social farming throughout the years, and we hope that continues for a long time with Marianne's input and her devotion to the project as well. So we have a short video to play that was taken of Ger and Earl a few years back, and it just shows, I suppose, Ger's passion for the project and how much he gave to it. So fingers crossed it works.
My name is Kerry O'Sullivan, and we farm here in Laharden. And about 4 years ago, maybe 4.5 years ago, Joseph McCrone approached me and see would I be interested in social farming. The first day I said to Joe, what is social farming? I had no idea. He explained it to me. So I came home that evening anyway, and we had a kitchen cabinet meeting, myself, Marianne and my brother Tim, and we said we'd give it a go. And we did. We signed up for it, and we're totally delighted we signed up for it. Errol Leahy is the boy that comes to us, and he's coming to us now with 4 years. I think the week would not be the same without Errol coming. Errol have adapted very, very well to the farm. He adapted to us very well, and his personality changed, and he came on leaps and bounds. He loves the interaction with the animals. One day there, a fortnight ago, a cow was calving. She had twins. Just because Errol was here didn't mean that cow was not going to calve. Everything, cattle have to be fed, they have to be watered. Errol loves doing them jobs, helping with the lambs, and we just totally enjoy having Errol now. Errol spent Christmas with us this year. They match the participant up with the farmer.
And it goes on for about 6 minutes, but that's, I suppose, the bit of Ger talking. So we just thought it would be lovely to share that, because I suppose it shows his passion for the project, and I suppose it echoes why we're all here tonight. We all share that passion of opening up our farms and our homes as they did to people in the community that would like to share that with us. And I suppose if we can continue at half the pace or half the passion that Ger did, Kerry Social Farming will do very well. So I suppose just to acknowledge Ger tonight and just to share that video with her.
Errol is here too. So, So I suppose we're almost coming to the end of this side of our presentation, which I'm very glad for. But this is where we're at right now. We have 31 farms. We have 54 participants. We're hoping by the end of this year that we'll be up to 38 farms and 75 participants. I actually think we can really achieve this goal. I think it's quite doable, and we're both Evelyn and I are looking forward to getting back on the road and just moving on with it. So next one. And just some thank yous. I suppose the participants would be the first thank you. The host farmers and their families, because it actually isn't just about because it's a family unit, and we are invited into the home, so it is actually the family. Our service providers, we have, we'd like to send a big thank you, and our project partners. Without them, we couldn't fund it, and we need their support. So thank you all. And do you want to go for this one? Okay. Okay, and then just as you can see all our sponsorships here. There's we were saying there's a lot. So we just said we'd put it out there. We've had over the year. We've had Radio Kerry, we've had Agri Time. I see Frank and Siobhan here from their Saturday supplement. We had on New Year's Day morning, actually, and it's lovely. And look, I suppose it takes a big team and a big community to keep social farming on the road. And we just want to say thank you to everybody. So.
Okay, thanks Rena and thanks Evelyn for an excellent presentation. I would like to welcome Deputy Michael Healy-Ray to the House as well. I suppose one thing that has struck me there in the slides and the presentation is how natural this project is, how well everyone adapted, how well every jigsaw fell into place. The farmer, the participant, the service provider, everyone that was involved in the project, how well they fell into place. It is just the pure nature, the kindness and the love that's in this project and the care for each other. And I suppose one of the things that struck me there in looking through all of the slides there, going back over the years, where would these participants be? Now, don't get me wrong, we have excellent service providers here in this county, under budgeted, there's no doubt in the world about that. But imagine if we look back over the last number of years, where would all these participants be? They would be in service providers, yes. And where they'd be after that, maybe going from centre to centre, it would most likely be indoors. And everything that happens here, everything that has happened there in the last, since 2013, has happened outdoors. And I suppose different things have struck me. I suppose a horse farmer myself, I suppose, and working with participants and looking at their abilities and their disabilities and things like that. But what about the day, and I categorise with no disability, what about the day that I had to ask a person that's coming onto my farm with a disability, well, can you sort that out in there on my phone now because I can't? And that was a person with a disability that was so tuned into technology and was able to do all of that, and I wasn't. And I said to myself, well, what would I categorise? I had some form of a failure, in communications or in the phone, or emails, I just hadn't that quality, or that gift, but that participant had. And I suppose another story, and there's wonderful stories going back through the slides, and the videos are well worth for anyone that is able to tune into YouTube and things and Kerry Social Farming. There are an awful lot of videos. They're well worth watching. But they're even worth to study the story. And there's brilliant stories And we don't, and you see Mary Fleming come up there tonight and her participant and her son, and they tell their own story. Like, we don't tell the story for them. They tell the story. They tell it from their heart as to their experience of social farming. And I remember, and I'd be an advocate for ability. I believe no matter what you can't do, there is something that you can do. And I suppose it came home to me when I had a participant out with me with her own disabilities and went through stroke and went through different things and she went through more humps and hollows in the road than smooth patches in the road anyway through her life and things, through no fault of her own and things. But love for children, love for caring, just came to her naturally. But I had a young fella and the thing was that he'd be collected every day at 2 o'clock from school, because 'twas the thing by the school when they're in their early years that you go up and you meet him at the school gate and you bring him down. The school now is only 5 minutes up the road from me, so we'd come down and we'd arrange a time and things like that. But that girl was able to go up to the school and stand at the school outside and school gate outside and say who she was and who she was collecting, and collected that young fella and brought him down and did his lessons with him and helped him with his lessons. And when Siobhan came home, she said, "You've done the lesson." I said to Siobhan, I said, "How did he manage now?" She went back to her own way when she was being taught her lessons at home herself. And she brought that with her. And she had the lessons done correctly. But like, the thing about that story was it alone, the ability to be able to do that. But in the situation she was in with her own disabilities, that was as close as that person was going probably to get to caring for a child or caring for a youngster, and to be able to do that for them. Like, and there was no question in the world that lessons were done, but to be able to adapt and go back to the way she was taught and bring that with her on that day and do the lessons. And that became, until he was coming home at 3 o'clock then, but that became numerous cases, and she was coming down and looking forward to collecting the student and talking to the people above at the school and telling them about where she was and her stories and everything. But she tells a very good story as well about if she hadn't social farming, she'd be inside looking at the 4 walls. And I suppose, look, I could go on for the night about stories. There are absolutely outstanding stories in this project, but I love the way that everyone has adapted. Like, there is no big hoo-ha, there is no big you have to be so long at this or so long at that, like and you couldn't have a better group of people than the host farmers on board. Like, tis their nature to care. And I think regardless of what walk of life is in, if we're doing any bit of farming at all, everyone, farming is in them, the care is in them, the nature is in them and things. And like, it is an outstanding project, there is no doubt in the world. I could talk the night about it. I suppose one key thing the ladies mentioned it there was the budget. And I suppose tis one project we say, and we're one man I suppose we're very, very grateful to at the very beginning, and all the people that came on board with us, but was Deputy Michael Creed, our Minister for Agriculture, going way back. He was the first minister that allocated funding to this. And I think our first round of funding was 123, was it 23,000, and continued to support it. And we're very grateful to Minister McConnell for continuing it and roll it over and so forth. But the funny thing about this project is it started in 2013. It has showed an awful steady growth rate. We have an awful lot of extra farmers come on board, an awful lot of participants, and an awful lot of people are making great use of it. But it's the first time I ever see something to grow until the budget being cut. We're now at 100,000 of a budget, and we have more farmers to come on board. We have more participants wanting to take up the service as well. So I would appeal to the people, the elected representatives, the people that are going to Norma and Michael that are going to Dublin on a weekly basis, that when these budgets come up for renewal or review or whatever it be, it is most important that they are maintained for that. We have nothing if they are not maintained, because even that the farmers are doing it on a voluntary basis, you have facilitators, and you won't have social farming run properly without facilitators, because if it is to go out and look at a farm to see what needs to be done there, you might have a lane that would able to walk down there yourself, but the participant that comes out would love to walk down there. You might have to put a surface on there, or you might have to put a railing up in the side of a lane for to assist them. You little things cost like that. So it's for God's sake, it's important that that's maintained, and the message that and for any, if you're not fully, and I understand you all are up to date with what social farming is doing, I would appeal to you to arm yourselves with as much information as to the benefits of this project and what it is doing for the people. I mean, they have their own disabilities. It is our responsibility to care for them and, to be there for them going into the future. And what a great thing for service providers now. We say, with some parent with an adult now will go into the service provider, and excellent service providers in Kerry, again under budget. I would say their work is Trojan, and they're a joy to work with and to have on board, to be fair. But imagine how they're able to say we've a place like social farming, and look at what social farming is. It is not just a farm, it is the amount of activities that take part in the farm. And the thing about this project, and I'm not coming down any other project, but you've natural farmers that are going to be there forever. You just don't go out and set up a farm, stock it with so many livestock in a spot, and you have to if you do that, you have to try and maintain that, and you need a budget to maintain that. But these farmers are there. All we need is the budget to look after the people that are coming onto the farm, look after our facilitators, look after all the various other things. You have a whole lot of small costs. And when you think what this budget is doing, imagine 100,000. And what it is achieving, the results it's achieving and what it is achieving. And it's a credit to the people that are involved in it. And a credit to the people that manage it. The South Kerry Development Partnership, Noel Spillane and Joe McCrone, and in EWKD, Eamon O'Reilly and all those people, what he's achieving is just remarkable. But that budget needs to increase, unfortunately needs to increase, and that is, I'd appeal to everyone to take that message away tonight. That budget needs to increase, and that would, I throw a rough figure, I could be wrong, Joe, but that budget would need to increase by 50,000 a year over the next number of years. Whether it's health, whether it's education, whether it's disability, whether it's mental health, whether it's any private sector, any sector at all, we're welcome to ask them to come on board. We'd love to sit down with them and put our care on the table and things, and just tell them, show us what we're about and things. So, look, I suppose that's basically it. We just one speaker left before we have questions and answers session. So that's Luke Myers. So that's Luke.
Yeah, go on. Just that way, is it? Lovely. Thanks, Eamon. Yeah, so my name's Luke. I'm the Project Biodiversity Officer for the new Kerry Social Farming Biodiversity EIP Agri. So that's a lot of words, and I don't even understand it, so it's grand. I'm only joking. In 2021, the team at Kerry Social Farming applied for funding under the EIP Agri, and in order to develop a project to benefit both the farmers and the environment. So we're just going to go into that in a wee bit of detail. So this EIP Agri is funded by the Department of Agriculture, Food and the Marine, and EIP, European Innovation Partnership. That's just a lovely photo from Killoyghlin that I took this morning on my walk, and I wanted to put it in there. So our whole aim for this project, we want to encourage biodiversity in the little aspects of the farms that aren't being used, so the biodiversity managed areas. We also want to heavily integrate this management with the participants and with the farmers, and I'll get onto that in a wee bit of detail. The main objectives is to assess the biodiversity managed areas in each participating Kerry Social Farming host farmer develop biodiversity management plans to assess those and look at them in more detail, work with the farmer, work with the participant, work with the farm advisor in order to help increase biodiversity on the farms. There's also going to be training courses and everything like that, and we'll come to that in a wee bit. These probably won't work. They were sound files for different birds that we had to guess, but we're going to look at the birds anyway. So it was supposed to that we were guessing what they were, but we'll just play it and we'll have a wee listen. So that's a barn owl, and some of our actions will include barn owl boxes and different aspects to increase their numbers on the farms, obviously providing a service such as decreasing the rodent population. And as we all know, the curlew is in the news all the time for its absolutely record low breeding pairs. I think there's only 100 left in Ireland. So EIP Agri, so this is a European Innovation Partnership, so it looks at innovation within farming and focuses on that and provides funding. Brilliant, thank you, Evan. So one of the main examples of an EIP in Kerry is in the Killicuddy Reeks EIP. So they use farmers and to manage rhododendron, bracken treatments, and scrub within the uplands, within commonages in order to deliver biodiversity, so increase the habitat scores for those valuable upland and usually peatland-based habitats. So we want this project to benefit nature, biodiversity, also tying in with Kerry Social Farming to benefit inclusion and accessibility, particularly inclusion in science as well, which with participants and farmers, there's not a lot of projects associated with science for them. The main pillars of our project are training, habitat management and monitoring. And we'll come to those in a wee bit. So these are our KPIs, our key performance indicators. So KPI number 1, we wanted 25 farmers within our project. We achieved that, which is very good, I'm very happy to say. We also have a number of other KPIs, such as 2.5 kilometres of hedgerow to be created or improved, 40 bird and bat boxes to be supplied, and 40 solitary bee habitats to be created on farms. So these are all very achievable, and I can't wait to get started and really involve the participants in these actions as well. This is another one. I should have left these out, but anyway. So this is a lovely songfish, if you haven't guessed already. One sec. Lovely. And I love songfishes because they repeat the tune just like a song. So it's amazing. And we'll go back. We know what that is. So why isn't nature beneficial to farming? There are these things called ecosystem services. So it's what the nature provides to us, and people have put a value on them. So pollination for crops. Without our native bee species, our crops wouldn't get pollinated, such as our vegetable crop and rapeseed oil and stuff like that. Protection against livestock. Lovely thick hedges will protect your herd from Farmer Jimmy's just across the hedge from you, so no diseases will pass. And different things like that. Water storage is another thing in ponds. And the natural medicines which are present in our native flora that are in the hedgerow, the cattle know to go out and get them. And with a high biodiversity rich hedgerow, you'd be able to achieve and get those natural medicines. Some of the actions we're doing, these actions are going to be individual to each farm, and I'm going to be looking heavily at the participants and the farmers and the farm advisors and trying to come up with the best actions for the farms that we can do. So, and they'll be tailored to the own personal goals of the farmers and the participants as well. So lovely things like native seed collecting and sapling collecting and growing. The new CAP has a lot in it in relation to planting trees on the farm. So we'd love to help farmers that way with identifying native saplings and collecting them and growing them with the participant. What we've done to date, I visited host farms with the help of the farm facilitators, developed desktop assessments looking at the farms and where they are in relation to protected habitats and protected sites, and started on developing training courses and events to coincide with the farmers and other members of the community and organisations that we're going to work with. So these are just some of the collaborations that we're doing. We're collaborating with the Kerry Biosphere Reserve for Biodiversity Week in 2022. We're also doing dawn choruses. We're collaborating with men's sheds groups and the live Eco Museum on the Iveria Peninsula. So it's going to be brilliant, and yeah, it's going to be great. Plans for the project: achieve the KPIs, assist farmers and participants with training and learning. That's a key thing. And developing the project appropriate assessment. So that'll be the report that assesses the potential impacts of the project on nearby protected sites. And this is a big one, using farmer and participant skill sets. So I'll be going round and looking at the skill sets of the farmers and the participants and seeing how we can use that and how we can pay them to supply us with that service for the benefit of the project. And yeah, that's all for me, and that's my contact information, and that's a lovely, I forget the name now, early thorn moth that I found in Killoyland. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, Luke, for an excellent presentation. Look, we will just take a moment now for questions and answers, or any suggestions you might have. So maybe we might give a few moments for that. So have we roaming mic? I don't know.
Yeah, to use that.
Hello. First. Right? Ask Helga. Don't be shy. Any remarks?
Hello guys, I'm here with a whole farmer should be here tonight. Maybe he is my father and now she's not here. I did a video online with tight hands with the sigil of God, and when the doors to do it, and the thanks to Evelyn, and we were really, and I just saw the photo of myself, and she was my candidate. I was in shock. It's all there.
It's always good to get a good speaker up first, okay? That's the standard now, let's see if you get up to that. Anybody else want to say anything? We'd like to see your photograph. Great.
No, it's a video of myself talking about my head back.
Anybody else? Yeah, that's a horse farmer in Glenflesk.
Hi everybody. I just wondered, I always hear that the participant is one day at a farm or one day of a few hours. Wouldn't there be a question for more days or different times? You can answer that?
It's a really good question. So it's up to the farmers, yeah? Why not? We should stop it. Anybody else want to answer it? I think it's a great question.
Well, the thing is, we have a guy who comes, a 20-year-old young man, son of Syrian refugees, and he comes one day a week, and his father says, "Why don't you come and pick him up every day?"
And I always say the same about a lot of the social inclusion schemes that are run in the country, community employment or rural social scheme or those initiatives. Why are they only half a week, you know?
Yeah. There's no answer to it.
Minister of Social Welfare probably answered. No. But yeah, I think if farmers are willing to do more days in the week, the participants want it, I'm sure of that.
Yeah, I think it would be down to the farmer. Like I suppose, look, it's great to get a farmer to do social farming. It's a day a week, and like every farmer is busier than the next day. There's different seasons of the year, and there's different activities happening as well. But I suppose the first thing they're doing it on a voluntary model, and like it's the participants' day, and the success of this project, like we say, it seems like a few hours. It isn't that the participant jumps off a bus, looks at a calf, jumps back on a bus and is gone again. The success of this project, and it's when the participant tells the story, it's the time that the farmer has put into that participant. And it's amazing, like, it was my first time ever working with people with disabilities, doing social farming. And I thought, like, my wife would be working in a school mountains, and I thought I'd never, but it's just amazing the way the two combine together and just the nature of the work on the day and things. So I suppose it's great to get the farmer to take a participant one day a week. If you had a farmer, we say there was a retired farmer that was doing, we say very little farming stuff, but kind of semi-retired was still doing what he could do because he liked to do what he wanted to do. If he wanted a second participant, take one on the Tuesday, one on the Thursday, no problem in the world. But like, hats off to every farmer that can do one day a week. And I think it is a great point. And I'd love to do it myself, but I couldn't, because it is a day, and we devote that day, and the participant gets the most. You might get a railing done that you wouldn't do yourself. We said, to hell with that, no, there's things to be fixed up with the lunch, that. But it's what the participant, it's what the farmer puts in, the participant gets out. And I think it's when you hear the story of the participant. So yeah, as I say, if it suits a retired farmer, semi-retired, we say, that wanted it, by all means, and to talk to Joe, to Evelyn, or to Rena about it. Yeah, absolutely. But
any other question? A comment?
I think it was amazing to keep social farming going during COVID. Everything else in the country closed down. Was, practically had to because of for various reasons, obvious reasons. A lot of things closed down, went online or whatever workplace, but it was amazing that it kept going. I think that's a message we should be proud of,
Errol, do you want to say any few words? You're never shy.
Hello lads, I go so farm with George Sullivan. It's very good to me. I was learning with George Sullivan. It's very good to me. I go keep going so farming, Tim, Marianne. It's very good to me. I do a lot of feeding cattle, cows, sheep, and I try my best. And I'm very good, I'll keep going. And Patrick, try to show farms, Evan, and Eamon. Thanks to Joe, Evelyn, the Kerry Social Farming. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going so far the rest of my life. I'm going to keep going. Thanks so much, Joe, Evelyn. Thanks so much.
Does anybody else want to make any comment?
Deputy. Deputy Ray.
Well, first of all, just to say that it's great to have this event organised this evening, because every way that we can promote and ensure the security of the future of social farming, it's terribly important. It's very important that our Minister for Kerry is here this evening, because Norma is very dedicated to all aspects of life in Kerry, as she would be, of course, of this project. And having a person at the cabinet table that understands it and that gets it, that's of terrible importance. And all the politicians, be it national or local, are all committed to supporting across the party political divide. They're completely committed to social farming. We had a great event a number of months ago in South Kerry where the National Day was held below there, and that was a great experience for everybody that went there. And it was a great event. And it's so good to hear both sides of the story, and I suppose the story that Eamon told there a while ago, and you can't be, when you hear things, you know, coming out very straightforwardly, and that was the story of the participant and Eamon and the mobile phone. You know, like you would say, who's helping who? In other words, we're all helping each other. And like that's a lovely story that should actually be repeated and repeated again. Because who is the person that has an ability? Who is the person that has a disability? Nobody, because we're all the same. Because everybody just has different humps and bumps along the road. And you know, there's all different types of issues, but if we work together, we can all help each other. But again, another very important point is the whole issue of the budget. And yes, of course, it is an amazing thing that you have a service and something that is there that is growing, and that the money that it's attracting is less and less. And that's our job, to promote it in the Dáil and to ensure that when decisions are being made about funding, that the value and the importance of social farming is highlighted to the degree that it can't be ignored. And it sells itself, and it should be something that will be there long after all of us. And the simple reason for that is, please God, there always will be farmers, and there will always be people who will be able to benefit. There's babies that aren't born at all yet, and I hope and pray that they will be able to benefit from social farming in the future. And that's a lovely way to think of it, I think, you know. And so we'll all work together, and there's a great team from all the different sectors here in Kerry, and Kerry Social Farming is leading the way through innovation and through just the whole thought that was behind it in the first instance, 8 or 9 years ago. And we just must, as politicians, myself, Norma, all the rest of us, we have to work together in a united way to ensure that the funding will always be there for it, and to help it grow into the future. Thanks.
Sinead, I think, yeah? Okay, amazing.
Thanks everyone. I suppose just on the Matt posters there, Councillor Dan McCarthy, Matt Manager of Kenmare, Matt, we'll be heading your way to the posters, so thanks Dan, in the near future. Always been a great supporter of social farming. I suppose, look, thanks everyone for an outstanding night, to all who made the effort to attend, and to all our speakers and to our participants. That's what the night was about, our host farmers, everyone involved. Thank you so much. It's uplifting to see everyone making the effort to come out tonight, to our service providers, to everyone involved in Kerry Social Farming, to our Minister for giving the night with us, and to Deputy Michael Healy-Ray. It's great to have you here tonight, to hear our story and to work on our behalf at government level. To everyone involved in this project who were so committed, so combined. There is no one going east or west, we're all going the one journey, and that has been the success of this project since we started. And any project where you can all go out the one door every day, that's only going one way, and that's up and up and up and staying together. To our host farmers, to everyone, a huge, huge thank you. And I suppose maybe just, are we going to do a clip on George?
No, that was...
Okay, yeah. Okay, so thank you again to the Brehon Hotel for the excellent layout and for the people who were involved in preparing it, Evelyn and Tarina. Thank you to Niall Foley for live stream it. So important to those people that couldn't make it. So thank you again, Niall, to Don McGonigal, photographer, to Julie, who was putting Trojan work during the week. A huge thank you to everyone, and I know I've been told before don't start mentioning names, but to everyone involved in this night and involved in this project, a huge, huge thank you. There are teas and coffees on the way out and refreshments, so with that I say a huge thank you, and please God we'll be here again next year. Thanks everyone.